He was bigger, and the bigger males always won, but the smaller males never stopped trying. The female lay still as the male joined her on the rock. He nudged her with his head, and when she didn't bare her fangs, he crawled up and over and on top of her. He nudged her a few times. After a while, she uncoiled. The male ran his body along hers, and she ran hers along his. When she was ready, she lay still, and the male slid into position. The female felt little. To her it was not pleasure, but a necessity. She must do it to have young, and to give birth to young was one of the foremost drives of her life. When the male was done, he lay next to her for a space. Then, with a parting flick and a hiss, he was gone. The female stayed where she was. She lay soaking up the sun until it was so low in the sky that the gully was plunged in twilight. The heat began to dissipate. She crawled off her rock and around the boulder and down the side of the gully to a cleft. It wasn't much wider than she was. She crawled into it and along a winding course that brought her to a large underground chamber. Others of her kind were there. It was their haven, their breeding area, their den. It was where the females gave birth. All of her kind for many leagues around came to the den to winter over. Some winters there were more than others. This past winter there had been the most ever. Many had since dispersed and would gather again when the weather turned cold. Many more remained to roam the gully and the surrounding area. They formed an enormous roiling mass, entwining with one another, each as deadly as any creature could be. For most of the summer they had lived as they always did, and all was well. Then the intruders came. Chapter 1. "Land sakes, it's pretty," Amela Worth declared. She sat astride a mare on a ridge overlooking a valley as beautiful as anything. Miles-high peaks, some crowned by ivory mantles of snow, bastion the valley from the outside world. Thick woods covered the lower slopes, and green grass covered the valley floor. The topaz blue of a pristine lake gleamed bright in the sunlight. "Isn't it, Samuel?" Samuel Worth grunted. They had taken forever to cross the prairie and come deep into the mountains, and now that they had finally arrived, he didn't see much difference between the valley and the savage wilderness they had spent weeks penetrating. "Nothing to say?" Amela goaded. "You the one wanted this. You the one had his heart set on living free." "Don't start," Samuel warned. A big man, he wore a homespun shirt she had made and pants bought with money given him by his new friend, Nate King. Samuel shifted in his saddle and said to his benefactor, "So you say this valley named after you?" "King Valley," Nate confirmed. He was as big as Samuel, but broader at the shoulders. His attire consisted of buckskins and moccasins and an eagle feather tied in his hair. A powder horn, ammo pouch, and possibles bag crisscrossed his chest. In the crook of his elbow rested a Hawken rifle, and round his waist was a virtual armory, 2 flintlock pistols, a bowie knife, and a tomahawk. Shakespeare here started calling it that, and the handle stuck. The man Nate referred to was a fellow mountain man, Nate's mentor and best friend in all creation, Shakespeare McNair. McNair was similarly attired and armed, but had white hair to Nate's black. "That I did, hoss. I could just as..."